So we're printing, I think, the last impression of this print today. It's a very dark blue-green color. The darker values in this group of trees, which is on the island. Let's see if I can pull this up here, this video. Here we are. There's the stream. Ellsworth Russell, he's live. What's up, Worthy? Scott in Alberta. Here's the stream. Ellsworth Russell, he's live. What's up, Worthy? Right, turn the volume off on this thing. Let's do this. So we got a dark blue-green color. I already printed a few because I'm making an additional video for YouTube. So I need a little bit of footage getting this impression done. So I already printed the test print, the 2 test sheets, and I did 1 on the nice paper. And I think this will be the last impression for this print. This will finish the print off. But I'm not sure. So this is where we were at. What's up, Attila Tune? So that just adds a little bit of deeper value into the trees. Gives a little bit of texture. And the theme for the print, it's a subtle buildup of colors to create this atmospheric, dark evening kind of glow in the sky. I'm wondering if the water should be a little darker. So I saved this block just in case I wanted to do that, where I did add a little bit of gradation on this block at the bottom, but I feel like it can go another shade darker. And I'm almost positive. See, you can see the gradation in the back of the paper, but it wasn't a really dark value. It was really subtle. And I'm wondering if I could do a nice, one more gradation leading up to the island might be nice. But I don't know. I don't know if it's nice to just have that water kind of not super textured. Like, I feel if I make it darker, it might bring out more texture. But I don't know. So we'll go through and we'll print this one off. You can see the value there. It's just a little bit more depth. Rebecca, welcome. The sky looks awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really enjoy the sky, the best part of this print. It was just a series of very light, transparent layers of water-based pigment. Actually, the first impression of this print was a yellow color. Very light yellow color. What you can see in the sky, but the original color is this yellow right there. It's been a full year since I worked on this print. I just picked this back up like a week ago because I want to submit this to an exhibition. The deadline is tonight. So wherever this print is, I'll be taking a photo of it this afternoon after it's dry, and I'll be submitting it to an exhibition. And if I want to decide to add a little bit of gradation into the water, it won't change the appearance of the print that much. If anything, it'll just add value to it. But yeah, that's pretty much the finished print. I like the color scheme. I kind of like the water just a flat gray, but I don't know, I might add a little bit of gradation. What do you guys think? So I'm keeping this last impression. After I do the impression, I put it back in the pack. I want the paper to remain damp, because after I'm finished, I'm going to lay them all out in some flat cardboard sheets, and I'm going to fully dry them with some weight on them so they dry super flat, so I can package them and ship them if they're complete. So I'm just keeping them all at the top of the pack. After I do the impression, I'll just line them up all on the top, and then we'll dry them all together. I'll put a bunch of books and weights on top of the cardboard to make sure they dry flat. And I won't be doing another one of these live streams. What's up, Marius? Welcome back. We're doing the last impression here. Maybe for this print. I might add one more in. Yeah, I was saying I won't be doing one of these live streams till at least until next Monday. Maybe I'll do one Monday of next week because I'm going out of town until early next Monday. And I'll be away from printmaking and carving for 5 days, which will be a nice break. Yeah, I really like the depth and the distance that I'm achieving in this print. You can see the back of the sheet. There's quite a bit of a lot of layers of pigment in there in the back of the sheet. It's nice to look at your work upside down once in a while. It really shows the values. When I'm looking at it upside down, I almost think the water is just already too dark. When are you laying the colors? Focus on the more. Yeah, I focused, well, both. So I wanted it to be a very subtle color changes. So in the sky, I knew I wanted yellow in the background, slowly work towards blue. And then these clouds here, as I was working closer towards the land, I started to bring in some like purple colors or some more warm, some red. So it went from like yellow, green, blue, and then into this like purpley red. And then again, I started coming heavier on the blues, working forward. Even in the island, the last impression is more of a purple color. So this was the last impression. It's more of a purple color. So yeah, kind of stagger, like cools and warms over. This is the impression we're doing right now. It's more of a green. So it's a slight green over this reddish, it's like a green gray over a purple gray. And then that purple color was over this bluer gray, which is a lighter value. But at the same time, I'm really just keeping the values I am thinking about the values. And, it's really just a trial and error, like how transparent you need the pigment to be. So you kind of have to work that out with these test sheets to see the intensity of value and saturation first before you commit to the good paper or the test sheets. So yeah, I had a little bit of a game plan. But in the very beginning, if you want really subtle skies, you have to keep the pigment very transparent, very faint, very light in saturation. So you want to be able to see that there's a change, but it's not overwhelmingly too dramatic, each layer. It's very subtle. And I did the same thing with this print I'm working on here. In this sky, you could see, I feel like I got a little too dark on this one, too quick. From a distance, you can read that there's some light showing through. But, the jump from the white of the sheet to this second gray, or first gray, is not so bad. It's close. But then the next layer felt like I went a little too dark. So it's like some trial and error. For those of you who have been following along, I preserved the last block too, and I was gonna carve into it and reduce this last impression, but I decided to just glue down a small piece of cherry because I kind of want to preserve at least these. I have 3 impressions now. If I wanted to do something else with these blocks, I can continue to make like a different print from at least from this block forward. So I'll have 3 blocks here, and I could always do something else in the sky and create a different time of day or a different scene. Sorry about the noise. It's almost pickup time for the school across the street. So the traffic's starting to pick up out front. And if people have to wait for more than 5 seconds, they lay on their horn like that, just to let the whole neighborhood know that they have zero patience. Worth, I don't know if you're still there, but man, I'm really sad I don't get to climb this weekend or this week. Well, there is a really good. I'm going to Buffalo, New York, for 5 days, 4 days, 5 days. There is a good climbing gym in Buffalo. It's like a newer gym. Yeah, I'm happy with this one. I really like the sky. So we got a group of 20 in this pack. This will be a small limited edition run of 20 prints. Excuse me. Just trying to keep those areas clean where there's some pigment building up. So you missed it earlier. Con Edison was back digging some new holes. They were here for the last 2 days. And they filled them both back in with clean soil and some blacktop. So it looks like the project's complete for now. I don't know, they don't use real blacktop. They just have that bagged stuff, that like quick fix stuff. And it just, I guess they just leave it, but it makes a mess. It just falls apart. Ends up turning into like a sinkhole sometimes. And then they picked up all their barriers and cones and they left. They took the steel plates away. So hopefully there's no more natural gas leaking out front. It smelled like natural gas out front for over a month. So I just dropped my bearing on the floor. That's a big no-no. You don't want to do that. Thank you, Carrie. It's nice to see a couple new people on here. Or maybe you've been on these before, but at least you're making comments. If you're first time here, welcome. We got a couple people that have been attending on a regular basis from all over the world. It's really cool. And these live streams are pretty good for getting watch time or watch hours on YouTube. So if you have, say, 10 people and you do it for an hour, and it's 10 hours of watch time. But if you get a couple hundred people for an hour or 1,000 people, you can really build up some nice watch time hours. And that helps the algorithm bring people to your channel. And so I appreciate anyone who's spending time on these live streams watching. And then people get to watch the replay as well, which is a decent amount of people watching the replays. But for me, this is low stress because I don't have to do any editing with these live streams. I just record what I'm doing for the day, my work for the day, and I get to share it with you. And then hopefully you guys can comment and feel like you're part of the excitement, and then I stop recording and that's done. I don't have to do anything else. It's really nice. The only problem is I don't get to document the footage for regular YouTube videos at the same time. So I'm going to do a little bit of both still. Oh, Dave Bull mentioned me in his stream. Yeah, I used to watch Dave Bull a lot. I haven't been keeping up on his live streams. I'll go through like bursts of keeping up with him in his world, and then, you know, a few months will go past and I won't watch any of his videos. But I know he's printing a lot right now, and he's busy catching up on printing, and he has too many carvers and not enough printers. I'm guessing and he needs more prints in his shop. Because I asked him for maybe another carving project recently, and he said, I don't need carvers, I need printers. So he asked for some prints, if I had any prints to send him. So I am working on a few things to maybe some of Jed's work that can go his way. But yeah, that's pretty much how I learned how to do this, is just by following his YouTube channel, studying his videos, reading the books that are available. There's some good sources on his website at Mocha Hong Kong. Yeah, I cut a few block sets for him, some Hasui reproductions, just some small little fun prints. And I do some work with, I've done some prints with Jed Henry, which him and Jed are partners. But I haven't done too much work for him and his shop in Tokyo. I haven't done too much work that's been on display there. So I'm working on printing a Jed Henry design. It's called Kyoto Cat, and I threw some, I think like 20 extra sheets in there. And when I finish with that, I'll send some to Tokyo for Dave Bull. See if he can sell those. Yeah, I reach out to him once in a while. He just has a hard time getting back to me sometimes. He's so busy. So he's got a lot of jobs to do. But I'm also busy on other projects as well, so I don't really have too much time to dedicate to other things right now. I have an exhibition coming up in November, and I want to get some prints available for it. So I'm kind of focusing on that, and I do have to print a couple things for Jed still, which I've been delaying for. One of the prints has been for years, and he's been super patient, and I need to really work on those prints coming up soon here. Oops. But that's a good problem to have, not having enough work to keep up with demand, enough prints in your print shop to keep up with demand. That's a good problem to have, I guess. But then you're not making any money if you're not selling, so. But he does so well on those subscription series. I know that's a really good, steady income for them. The paste doesn't really affect the transparency of the pigment. It's really just how diluted the pigment is with water, and then how thinly you apply the pigment on your block. I mean, a little bit. If you put a lot of paste down and like a very tiny bit of pigment on, the paste will dilute it as well. But the paste really is, it's like 40%, 50% water, and it's like 50% paste, 50% water. So a gauge I do is I put it on my stick and like I just hold it upside down. There's not much in here, but and if I get a nice thick drip like that, that's a good consistency for me. So yes and no, it just depends. But too much paste is, it kind of gives it a different effect as well. So it just depends on what you're going for. But mostly it's just the amount of pigment that is on the surface of the block. And so if I have a really diluted amount of pigment with water, you can also put in some gum. I put a little bit of gum arabic in there as well, which is like a binder for watercolor. And that will thicken it up and make it nice and lets it sit on the block nicely. But everything's water soluble with this printmaking. Got about 5 more. Keeping all my prints over here, just neatly stacked. And then when I'm finished, got 4 more to do. When I'm finished, I'll clear this table and I'll show you how I dry them. Did you go to either print fair that happened this New York over the weekend? Yeah, so the IFPDA print fair was at the Armory in the Upper East Side on 66th Street and Park Avenue. I did not attend the IFPDA print fair this year, but I have attended many of them. I used to be an art handler, and I used to do installations for galleries, and I've probably been to 10 IFPDAs or so. So I kind of know what that one's about. And then I did see the print fair in Brooklyn in Gowanus. It was the first Brooklyn Fine Art Print Fair that happened this past Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday night was the opening, and that was in this new location called Powerhouse Arts. It's just like amazing old industrial building that's been renovated, and they had their first print exhibition there, and the space is like really amazing and super cool. And the Gowanus area of Brooklyn has really changed. I haven't been to that area in a long time, and it looks like a total different city. It's like tons of residential buildings. They really cleaned it up along the water there, like south of the Smith and 9th Street. And it was small. You know, there wasn't tons of booths at the print fair there, but it was a nice, decent size. And I'm a member of SAGA, or SAGA. It's a Society of American Graphic Artists. And I did have a print in their booth. It wasn't on the wall, but it was in their folders. And I went there to help them just film and document the space a little bit. And I just posted a Instagram reel for them, just to help them with their social a little bit, because I know they're busy. And I just volunteered a little bit of my time, and everything was just a volunteer there for that booth. How about you, Jacob? Did you attend? Yeah, that building is really nice. And so all the old like graffiti, I mean, because the building was abandoned for, I don't know how long, but it was abandoned, I'm sure, for a long time. And they kept a lot of the original graffiti and like the whole upper like mezzanine area of the large room. And throughout the building, like when you walk in. So it's really interesting how they preserved that aspect of the building. And then they finished beautifully other areas. And they've made huge rooms, elevators, and it's just really nice layout. Staircases. guess you can rent that space out for events if you wanted. They also have like community art stuff. And then there's a professional printing studio on the upper floors. Luther has a team of amazing printers up there. And they do really high-end professional printmaking for a lot of big artists. See how many we have left. We have one more, and then I'll show you how I dry them. I used to work one block from Park Avenue, the Armory on Park Avenue and 66th Street, where the IFPDA print fair was. I worked one block from that corner for like almost 15 years. So I know that area very well. I don't need to visit the Upper East Side anytime soon, that's for sure. All right, so that concludes the printing of this print for a little while. I might add a gradation, I don't know. I might not. Let's see, I have this to show you. You just grab. So the only thing left to really do is I like to emboss my name on the margin of the print. So I can do that when the prints are damp. Let's see where this is. I'm just going to do one on a test sheet so you can see. And then that will press, it's hard to see, my name, carver and printer, just in the margin there. But I usually do that when the prints are dry, so I'll save this step for later. Let me break this down and we'll get these spread out to dry. Let's see here. Just move a couple more things out of the way. Some pigment on the table. So I have this chipboard. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Sorry for all the motion. So I have a chipboard, just it's like a flat cardboard. And I'll just take my prints and space them out here. So the buses are out front. It's time to pick the kids up across the street at the school. This is usually when I call it honking hour. So if that gets too crazy, I encourage you to go about your business, because it gets kind of loud here. This is the time I usually put my noise canceling headphones on. I always like this part because I get to see them all together. I enjoy that. So there we have it. I ordered them, or somebody else ordered the embossing die for me. I am still trying to find a place. I have to figure out where to get that done. But you can definitely get it done. So now I'll just cover this up. With another layer. Then we got the books. These are all my art books. I don't really use them for anything else except dry. My prints. All right, and that will wrap up today's live stream. Sorry it wasn't super exciting, but we did finish a print. And thanks to all the new people that have joined us today. And thank you for all the people who are returning. So this stream is going on 52 minutes. I'll see you maybe next Monday for another live stream. Hope everyone has a good rest of their week. Yeah. I'll definitely check that out. What time is this stream? I can check on Twitch. All right, guys. Hope everyone has a good week. Take care for now.